Disclaimer. In Beyblade X, we have two new releases that are going to be up and coming. UnicornSting and SphinxCowl. Now, for this video, we're going to be doing a kind of breakdown, giving my thoughts on all the part information to kind of just say, what is the more interesting thing out of the two? What do I think of the overall gimmicks and design? And just kind of go over it from there. So before we continue with this video, mallofbays.com. I believe now all of the random select stuff is sold out, which greatly appreciated for all the support on our store. We have a bunch of unicorn stuff and bundles, so if you're interested, check that out. And if you're wondering if we're gonna have Sphinxes later on, yeah, but probably we'll only restock maybe a little bit closer to the date. Just depends how many we can secure and make sure it's guaranteed. But I appreciate it. So we're going to go over them one by one. So let's first start off with UnicornSting. This is going to be releasing on January 27th. It is! Wow! And, you know, I gotta say, it's an interesting release. This is basically extremely reminiscent of the killer wheel from Metal Fight, although I would say a major improvement, not only because they're both balance types, but also just in general execution for like the shape and stuff. So essentially how this basically works for the Beyblade gimmick is that one side of this Beyblade is very smoothed out with the goal of defending. The other side is very aggressive and used for attacking. So the idea here is that when you hit one side, it'll defend. The other side, when you hit it, it'll attack. Now, this is kind of like one of those things where this is kind of like that anime bullshit gimmick where it's not going to literally probably do this exact purpose, but I do think it'll be interesting, because since you essentially have it where there's a very smooth side and a very aggressive side, you could have this where it's going to be some pretty, I think some pretty wacky RNG for attack. Maybe this could be, I think at least decent. My prediction is decent in a, it's not like the shape is even that clapped. Which even then I thought Drawn Dagger was, but Drawn Dagger ended up being very good. I think this should be at least so. This will probably have solid attack, I would say. I'm gonna just say solid attack. I think it's gonna have solid attack for right now. If not, it'll probably be used as some destabilizer for stamina combinations. That's my prediction, being as fair as possible here, just because we don't got much on it. They don't really got the underside, so I can't really say for sure, but you know, for a Unicorn Bay, I say this is a cool take they have on it. Next up is our Ratchet 560. 560 is really, really good. I think 960 does kind of beat it, just because 960 is a lot harder to burst, but 560 has good stamina, good defense, good burst resistance, so no real complaints here. Any release that has 560 is already going to be considered a positive here. And we get to our bottom, which is gear point. So this is essentially, you know, if we've seen gear flat, gear point is just, if point is just a ball on flat, gear point is just a ball on gear flat. Now, I actually prefer point over regular flat in a lot of situations, but since this is like the extreme version of this, because the whole point of these gear variants is that it's focused on the extreme line, so you can go do an extreme finish more and more, I think at bare minimum, this should be better than gear flat. I don't know how easy this will be to self-destruct. This might be able to kind of maybe improve on one of Point's failures, which is consistency on aggression. I think maybe we might get it where it's a little bit more aggressive, but still has the general stamina purpose use. Or it could bare minimum maybe be pretty good for counter attack stuff. Maybe like really, if you have against an attack type, really like have that movement to kind of push back and fight. But yeah, gear point, I'm gonna say decent expectations for. I think gear ball is gonna be something, but you know, obviously with everything we have to test and see. But the point of this is just fun speculation, right? That's the whole purpose of this. So next up we have SphinxCowl, and this is gonna be releasing on, dude, February 22nd, which is pretty awesome. So with this random select, let's first go over the full combinations you can get in this. If you get a full set, you basically get the prize Beyblade. It has 90 gear needle. You then after have a recolor that is the black variant, which looks pretty sick. You get, what is it, like 480, or 480, whatever, clapped ratchet, but high taper, I appreciate that. Then after you have the white Sphinx, which has a 560 and an orb, which I'm very happy to see an orb reprint. Orb, the only real way to get is Viper Tail, and still, obviously, the Viper Tail thing still has value because Viper Tail is really good for attack stuff, and the orb is pretty good for being as close to ball and stamina, having, I would say, good stamina but very good defense properties. So, but here I feel if for the selects, if they want to do this, because I'm not a fan of select stuff just because it replaces a normal booster slot. If they want to do it where they pick the right parts, like parts that are very desirable, then I guess it's okay, only for that reason alone, just for accessibility and reprints. Because let's be honest now, if let's say you really like high tapered, you want to go through a big set, whatever, and plus probably the orb one will probably be pretty common as well. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for the whole set itself. But let's go over the SphinxBlade. Now, the main gimmick of this one is just this idea of like a continuous kind of defense. It basically has 9 blades around the thing, and the whole idea, it's going to disperse opponents' attacks because it's like at all angles it has all these little blades parts. So the way that they're describing Sphinx here, it sounds like what it's supposed to do is maybe because it's got like a lot of these bumps, it's supposed to maybe kind of like recoil push back each time it's trying to hit it. I don't think this will obviously wall for anything in pure defense sake. I think you'll probably see something similar to that of maybe your Knight Shields, maybe your Hell Scythes for actual defense stuff. It at least looks more promising than Rhino Horn for defense. Rhino Horn is a good blade for attack stuff, but not really for the defense stuff. And I think, I don't know, I mean the shape is pretty rounded off, a lot more than Rhino was, so it's kind of hard for this to be that bad. Plus, 980 is going to be really good because since 9 Times I already said it's like the best one because it's the hardest to burst, has good stamina. Because you now have it on a tall ratchet, that's going to be easily the most preferred tall ratchet right now, just to burst the least amount, so that's pretty good. And nothing really else. I mean, the color scheme of it, I don't really talk about the color schemes and everything. I mean, the unicorn looks sweet. This one, I don't know if anyone thought about this. Probably did, but I noticed this at least, that the colors remind me so much of Guy's Fafnir on the ratchet. It's kind of weird colors kind of there, but you know, I really thought like, oh my god, this is like the Fafnir color scheme almost. Then after Gear Needle, so like I said, gear variants are just focused on doing the extreme line and extreme finish. It's just the defense bit focused around that. Now, because the shape is really hard to tell, and I'm looking at it, I'm just trying to decide. I think potentially, I think at bare minimum, it will have to be better than Needle, but I don't know if it's going to be better than High Needle. Now, the best case of this thing is not too bursty and doesn't suffer from the same fault as Gear Ball, would be that you have a lot of good counter movements and solid enough stamina to live and outlast your opponent. And considering how good High Needle is, I have a feeling Gear Needle should be fine. It depends if the gears make it scrape or not, otherwise this will maybe be a very specific type of use there. But aside from that, for all the new content right now, which am I more excited for? I want to say, I think technically speaking, Unicorn has to be more promising just because of the bottom and the blade. I don't think Sphinx is worse, I just think Sphinx has a lot more to maybe prove for me to really think about it. And of course, for both of these things, they're not out yet, and we need to do actual competitive testings to see the value, so all of these videos are, as always, speculation. So please keep that in mind whenever talking about this stuff, but I thought it would be fun to talk about. So between the Sphinx's gimmicks and Unicorn stuff, which do you prefer? Which do you like more? Which you're considering getting? And please support ballbase.com, it would be greatly appreciated. And that's pretty much it for this video. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I don't think I'm gonna do, unless Unicorn shows something really crazy, I'll probably not do any follow-up video, and I'll just wait till I actually get it in hand, which will probably be, I don't know, maybe like the Monday or Tuesday of the end of this month, I guess. And yeah, we have a bit of way to go until like a lot of the big stuff, so make sure to check out any you know, UX talk and whatever, I guess. And yeah, that's gonna be it for now. So take care and bye, and here's hoping for a better tomorrow.